Hey guys, today we're going to be talking about how Canada could be more sustainable by the year 2041. So let's start off with talking about Canada's population statistics. Well, Canada's population as of the year 2017 is 36,500,000. Now that's a lot of people. And 82.1% of this population lives in urban settlements, while only 17.1% of the population lives in rural settlements. And due to Canada's population and growth rate, it is ranked number 38 in the most populated countries in the world. This is also due to the fact of its growth rate. The growth rate of Canada is 1.2% each year, and most of this is due to immigration. Immigration is the term used when a person moves to a different country legally and permanently. And immigration is actually encouraged by the government for growth of the country's population, which helps for economic purposes. And with the country's population growing fast with the rate of 1.2% each year, Canada doesn't seem to be facing any problems with overpopulation. However, the country might face problems in the future, because the average amount of immigrants Canada takes each year is approximately 250,000. And in 2016, they raised it to 300,000 per year. So with this and the fertility rate, Canada would be an overpopulated country in the next few decades. And overpopulation is not good for any country. This means resources would be depleted much faster and space would run out. However, there is a solution. Decreasing the amount of immigrants to 225,000 per year would resolve the problem. This would keep the population of the country sustainable. Now let's move on to the physical environment of Canada and how to make that more sustainable. Now there are quite a few issues surrounding Canada's environment, one of them being Alberta's oil sands. The extraction of these oil sands cause a lot of environmental issues and are considered the biggest source of greenhouse gas emissions in Canada. Oil and gas take up a quarter of Canada's greenhouse gas emissions, which makes it a big issue physically for the environment. The oils are extracted from Alberta, and Alberta is home to many wildlife and vegetation. So if oil spilled or pipes leaked from its extraction, it will result in long-term damage to the environment, considering the fact that plants and animals would die due to the pollutants and toxic material contained in the oil. Leaks can also be caused from the pipes they're extracted from, but there are solutions. First, new pipelines should be created. This would prevent oil leaks to happen. Another solution is that drilling near wildlife or in wildlife habitats should be banned. This would help the environment stay healthy along with its animals and plants. So that's how we can make Canada's environment more sustainable. Now let's talk about how we can make Canada's industries more sustainable. As there are a few industries that have quite a lot of issues, there are also those industries that have no issues at all, such as agriculture and mining. Canadian agriculture has very few issues other than mining, which has tons of issues, due to the fact that mining is bad for the environment and results in lots of damages. This also drives the economy to a very big expense. While agriculture is very light in terms of issues, exporting is mainly one of the only issues that agriculture has. So, a few solutions would be to mine in unpopulated areas and places that won't cause any damages, and to improve on Canadian agriculture. Exporting crops to new countries can cause benefits in the long run. And just in general, improving and fixing minor problems that industries have could make Canada more sustainable. Now let's talk about how we can make communities more sustainable in Canada. Well, what makes a city livable? Well, urban sprawl, energy use, transportation, and waste management are 4 important things that a city needs in order to be sustainable. Let's talk about energy's issues. Well, since there is an increasing population in Canada, the needs for energy will be much higher, and people use much more energy than they need. So a few solutions would be to switch to renewable energy sources, such as installing solar panels in their homes and using electric cars to drive around. Now, transportation issues in a community would be the transit, having construction zones, and trucking. Ways to resolve the problem of having construction zones would be adding dedicated lanes for people trying to get to work and stop construction during busy time periods, such as rush hour. To resolve the problem of trucking on local roads, there should also be dedicated lanes for trucks and decrease the speed limits for trucks to make sure that they don't crash into other vehicles. And to improve on a community's bus transiting system, there should be more buses for specific timings, the bus route should be expanded, and there should be more bus stops in new locations. That's how transportation in a community could make it more sustainable. Now let's talk about issues with waste management in a community. Well, waste in a community causes pollution, soil contamination, and water contamination. Ways to resolve these problems would be to reduce, reuse, and recycle. Also, by adding signs for garbages would prevent people from throwing it on the floor. So by fixing all these issues, this is how a community could be sustainable. And overall, this is how we can make Canada more sustainable by the year 2041. Thanks for listening.